Good morning, peoples. Bruce here from Targeted Wealth Creation. Let's jump in here for Coney and Misty. Let's start with Coney. So what happened yesterday? Well, it being, oh, sorry, I got Misty, but I actually want to do Coney first. So I didn't darken my background on here, but I will. That's the idea, to have everything darkened. It's just more visible. So what did we do? Well, let's look at both our ETF and our Coney Yieldmax position. So in coin, they went down 0.39% from 235 to 235, but 0.3 versus almost 236. Similar, right? 2132 to 2124. So we actually beat the underlying. Let's talk about what contracts were put on. Well, they did have some buy-in in the stock that went up 350,000 shares, and they used that money. Well, they didn't. You know what they're doing? They're saving that money for the roll. But they did an interesting thing. They were able to buy back for under 7 cents 5,001 contracts. All right, I could show you a line item, but it's one line item. So they bought all 5,001. The reason these are broke apart is because they got $3.10 for this, for the bulk, right? 5,000, and only one of them they were able to get $3.40. So you split it across here. That netted, okay, 1.5 million. Well, they made 1.5. They collected 1,550,000, and they kept 1,515,000 on. And this isn't even worth talking about, right? $333. They sold it for $340 and kept $333. All right. So that added a little cookies to the cookie jar, or coins to the piggy bank. They did no synthetics or anything else. So they're in a position. Take a look at this. Look at the remaining, right? They got 9,660. Those are at 257. We'll talk about how far out of the money, because it's not relevant to, this is how far out of the money when they wrote it. I'll take you over the weeklies. But if you realize we're down at 235, and these are 257s, and these are 262s, and we collected, $3-something. So we'll be buying those for 1 or 2 pennies, since today is expiration day. So what'll happen is they don't have to roll their synthetic, so they'll leave the synthetic alone. And that's good. We're behind on the synthetic. We have a 260. But whenever we do write new contracts, we make money, right, because we're under. So I'm not really worried at 719. It's 4 weeks away. I don't, it doesn't even get on my radar till about 9 days, maybe a week and a few days. And if we're even closer, then you don't even care. But at this range, if it was like that with 9 or 10 trading days, then I would start bringing it up more. But it's really not relevant. But we are down this morning, right? We're down at 63,750, is clearly below our 65.5-ish. So I don't like seeing that. If we get another day of that and it closes down below, that's sort of a confirmation that the probability shift to where it opens up 60 or below. And 52 is massive support. If it breaks 52, it's a 44 number. I think in one of my videos, I just showed you the wild, there's an analyst out there for MSTR, which is a sign. I realize it's not Coinbase, but these all play off, right? BTC is driving Coin and Coney and Mr. and Misty. So I don't like to see Bitcoin drop, because then 60 is some support But the fact that we broke 65 and a half, we don't get back up there, then that beckons 52. Not saying it goes there, and again, it's major support, but 52 would, probably, I'd have to guess on coin, it'd probably be 17 again, Somebody, you can always do a correlation and go look at the last few times Coney has hit 17. It's hit 17 or 18 a couple of times. But I'd have to look and see where Bitcoin. It may have been 57, it may have been 59, because 59 is the last 2.5 month low, I believe. I'm just going from memory now. I'm not looking at a chart. So anyway, bring that up. But don't ever think those things can happen, just like it could take off and run past 73 and be 80 in a blink of the eye. But you always have to be prepared for one or other direction. All right, so let's keep looking here let's go, there's nothing else other than the share count. Let's look at the weeklies. So this helps, and then I'll take you to holding. So we're winning these like crazy, right? We took one off the table for 7 cents. So we now have a remaining, we were 7.3, and we took some off. So that number, let me show you in holdings, it's 5.8. But we could buy everything back for 209. So we've captured 96.41% of what's remaining, which is nice, right? So they're going to win their weekly. There's very, very little probability. I mean, if Bitcoin were to fly, but it's actually doing the opposite, right? It's down 1,395. So this should be a walk in the park. And then at the end of the day, let's see where it is. And if they write for next week, they'll likely capture those. But let's hope this, if it is a downdraft, let's hope we get down there and finish and start on our way back and don't spend a lot of time. But, you've always got to keep powder dry, because if you put everything you got in one buy, you're stuck with that price. Or if you're averaging up, you always want to be able to DCA down, especially if you're bullish long term. I'm very bullish on Bitcoin to 93, 105, 120. But I can't tell you that it even doesn't visit 44 or 48. It's like a slingshot effect. If market makers and people want, although this is triple witching, don't forget, this is at option expiration and futures and currency. It's a mass. It happens every so often. So this could be the effect of that push down. But let's see, you never overreact. It's one day. Let's see where the close is. Let's see what happens over the weekend. Let's see what happens on Monday. And the reason I'm giving all this extra right now is because it applies to Misty and Coney. So it'll save me the time to giving you a narrative about what could happen, right? I don't want to overreact. I don't want to scare people. But I want to be a realist, right, about all this stuff. All right, so 350 shares up, 1.22%. We look fabulous there, right? Well, let's look at our synthetics, right? They're eking up. There's 58 million loss. But again, and there's the charge, since we rolled to the 260. But again, plenty of time in that situation. But, everything goes through ups and downs, it's just part of the process. All right, so this is the only piece I want to go over, and then I'll move. So you got 5.95 out of the money. Yeah, again, we're going the other way, right? We're not, let me look at coin in the pre-market right now just to give you an idea. I got it on a real long chart. I need to get back to a 5-day, 5-minute chart. Yeah, we're down at 229. So we're nowhere near 250. So I highly, highly doubt these aren't going to get touched. So we went all our weeklies. All right, let's just jump in. Then I've kind of covered the jets. Let's look at payments. And this is, Coney's still doing well this month, right? I could see $1.50. I don't think they'll, this is still a loss. This is nice money. So I think we're in that $1.50 range. Let's see if we can write 2 more weeks, right? We do have the ability today to sell for next week. And then we have the following Friday to sell before I think the Wednesday, whatever the 3rd is on the calendar. That might be that is a Wednesday. Okay. So knowing we have that, we can collect more money. Maybe we get to $2, maybe we don't. But, for Coin and Coney, that's a nice payout if we continue. Misty's in a little bit more trouble than that. All right, let's jump over to Misty, guys. Let me pull that sheet up. And let me get to June. Oh. There we go. All right, so I did darken these, and I'll finish. So what happened here? Very, very similar, although a little bit more advantageous. Small move down, but in this case it was 0.27, but look at us. We were almost flat. Misty actually made a penny, right? So we went up a tiny, 1 cent, 29.34 to 29.35. They went down $4.03 on a much bigger number, but we won that one, right? So Misty had 200,000 right here. They went from 9,300,000 to 9,500,000. So they used that money to put on a synthetic and a position here. So they used 67, and I'll show you both. So they wrote a 1570, right? And this one they wrote for next week, obviously on a Thursday. You don't want to try and time a Friday. It's just not, it's not worth the money. So they went out and they got nice. Look at this compared, well, there's a 36 and there's a 48. But in general, there's some 33 and 36s. When you look at what they had done here, primarily 29, 29, 22, 33. So I kind of looked at 35 and said, all right, I'll take it. It's only 67 contracts, but it's 236,000 that they collected. Now, that's 6 trading days, right? I just want you to be aware that that's a 628. A lot of times I'll color code these, but honestly, these will be gone, right? By the time I do Saturday's report for Friday, I'll mark these all in color and show you what they closed them out. Then they will have sold new 628s and synthetics and all that. Let's go take a look. Now remember, they're collecting really good money because they're synthetic. Now we're under it, right? We've been 16, so we've been above it. But we're down here at 65. So this 67 contracts netted us over 700,000. So that continues to put little bits of money in the piggy bank, but we really need it, right? We need it big time in Misty. Misty's hurting for money this month, guys. So I know that's oxymoron because you don't think of Misty. I'm almost positive they're going to hit for the cycle. It's going to be $1. And even $1 is not going to be a big dollar amount. Let's see. Again, anything can happen, but looking at today in crypto, unless it turns next week or something, and you never say never, but they're marching along. So on their weeklies, we're going to win these. I mean, crypto's down, Bitcoin's down, I should say, because I'm not a crypto guy. I'm a Bitcoin guy. So 957%, 23.86. They didn't take some of these off the table when. Let's look at holdings. Look at this. Well, they're not that $1.08, but it was $4 the other day. Look at these capture percentages. So this one is still 4.25 as of yesterday. So I don't see any chance that they're not gonna win that one. Let me me see where we are in pre-market with Mr. Yeah, well, we're at 1460. 14, no, the pre-market showing 1425 to 1435. So very good chance we win all that stuff. And the truth is that the 1610, that's where all the money is. So this thing, you know, it's got 7% more. So we've got another 374,000 or 373,000, you know. Sometimes they pay a penny, 2 cents, 3 cents, but this will be a nice win. Here, I listed this guy, but I didn't put the details in because I don't like to roll up the total because it's really next week. So I went over here and that closed higher than what they wrote it for. But I think today will take care of that. By the end of today, if it continues where it's going, we'll be in the money in this guy, right? We'll be ahead of the game. Right now we're 15% behind, but it means nothing. So where do we set with these synthetics? Well, we got a 14 million paper loss. How's that trending? You know, 7, 5, or really 6, 5, 9, 13, 14. So we're not getting killed. Oh, this is a big jump. So obviously we've been going down. I mean, crypto's starting, BTC is starting to give us signs that it's going to break down, right? But is it a false breakdown? Does it run down to 59, 57, and then just turn around and head back in the 60s and 70s? It could. Does it go down to 52 and test major support? Could, right? So let's see. Nobody's going to be accurate in telling you where it's going tomorrow, but we all got ideas of how high it can go and very likely will go. All right, let's look. I think we've covered everything on holdings. I talked to you about fair value here, 29.35 versus 29.30, 215% because we moved up 200,000 shares. So people are buying these funds because they're on sale. I just hope the people that are buying them aren't entirely chasing yield. Remember what I say about looking in the rearview mirror and projecting what's going to be ahead on the road? It doesn't work that way. It's had fabulous payments, love BTC, think it's going much higher. But let's see what happens on any situation. Does it, you know, run the stops and run it down and scare everybody out and then turn around and have the smart money make all that profit? It happens, right? So hold your positions, you know, think of it like a piece of real estate. Hey, you know, in that case, you typically still get your rents, but nobody likes to see a Zillow or some real estate agent tell you, hey, sorry, you know, your home's is down 30% in market value. Well, if it's a long-term rental or a house you live in, it's your house. You're not worried. You're not trying to sell it. So sometimes these income capturing, you have to think that way. Yeah, I talked about hedging, and you really should hedge between and for a big collapse. But, you know, keep your powder dry so that if you like it and you're still bullish, go in and pick some up. I mean, I could only imagine if this thing went way down and Misty hit 20, there'd be brand new buyers going, I want in. But there'd be a whole bunch of people that's average cost is 35 that would be crying and going, I just got to get out of this. I can't take it anymore. And that's exactly what the smart money wants you to do, right? They want to take your shares from you cheap. And they run stops knowing. Now, I think less people are running out and putting stocks on these Yieldmax. But trust me, they're putting stocks on MSTR and they're putting stops on coin. And those market makers know how to run those stops in the algos. So don't ever think that that doesn't get engineered sometimes, you know. The algos are very smart. It's hard to outfox that. Okay. Let's just look at payouts and I'll wrap this up. And I'm not trying to put fear in there. If I'm scaring you, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be a realist and not saying that's going to happen because I don't know. All right, so where are we? We've got 43 cents and we've got 50 cents. So right now they've collected like 93 cents. I don't think Yieldmax wants Misty to drop under $1. I can almost guarantee you, based on the kinds of things we're doing, that we'll get paid $1 plus. But could it be $1.20? Yeah. I said before, I think we could hit for the cycle. We could be in the dollar. And Bitcoin can reverse that and fix that. But if we just continue collecting the weeklies, it's probably in the dollar range somewhere. Let's see. So that's what I got for you guys. Sorry it's not better news, but we are winning and collecting our weeklies. So again, not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Fun and entertainment. Hope you are entertained and not scared. All right, peoples. Bye.